welcome back to our messy house, where our house has become increasingly less messy as over 2 years ago we became minimalist and started implementing slow living into our household, and it has changed our lives forever. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Julianna. I have a husband named Travis, and I have two beautiful children, ages almost 3 and almost 5. And today we're going to be talking about school curriculum. I'm going to be posting a lot of videos over the next 2 weeks about our school curriculum, why we chose it, what we chose for preschool and K through 1. I'll also be chatting a little bit about why we chose what we chose and how it correlates with like slow living and minimalism. And you'll see that in my curriculum pics that mostly it's pretty minimal and basically my style of how I chose curriculum. I found that my children learn best through play, and I think most kids do learn best through play. And we got the Good and the Beautiful math curriculum for our daughter last year. She was 4, so we were doing a soft launch into kindergarten. We had done a lot of little work with her with flashcards and games and whatnot before kindergarten, but we got a curriculum workbook and she did the whole thing. The thing was, I felt like I was forcing her to do the handwork and whatnot, and it was a lot of really tedious work that felt like it didn't need to happen to learn that concept. And so when I went to look for a new curriculum, I looked for curriculum that was basically play-based curriculum, and that's what I settled on. I went through the rabbit hole of unschooling. I went through the rabbit hole of like spiral versus mastery. When I chose to get my daughter the Good and Beautiful kindergarten, we were in the middle of dealing with a pretty medically complex child, and it was taking up all of our time. But I did want to soft launch our daughter into schooling still, because that was going to be one-on-one time between me and her that we could always make happen, you know what I mean, a page here and there. We could, you know, help develop and grow her while we're putting a lot of energy and time into our other child. And so I wanted to have those moments with my child pretty much, and we did, and it was beautiful. But there's something to say about a rigorous workbook for such a young age, and it worked, but it wasn't my favorite. So what I chose is I went in the rabbit hole of unschooling. I went in the rabbit hole of classical schooling and Waldorf and just literally like Charlotte Mason, like just every avenue you could possibly walk down and really study on. Like I could tell you a lot of really unuseful facts because I didn't go, like I didn't choose that curriculum, so they feel pretty unuseful facts about a lot of curriculum and like who created them, why they created them. I read books on the people who created them. I read books by the people who created them. I studied literally everything. I talked to teachers who teach those curriculums in their schools, like Waldorf schools and whatnot. I talked to Waldorf teachers. I studied Steiner. I dove really deep, and I'm hoping that I can bring you the best curriculum picks for my slow living lifestyle and minimalist lifestyle and the children learning through play aspect. If that is like your vibe and you want to implement that into your homeschool, then I hope that these picks that I spent literally way too much time researching, but it was super fun, and in research I'm always learning and developing and growing, and so that's a plus for me. And it gave me something really fun to do, a big project of like reading a bunch of books, and I feel like I'm a way more well-rounded teacher now that I have all this knowledge from so many different departments, like so many different styles, if that makes sense. So let's dive right in with our preschool curriculum. If you hear helicopters and whatnot, they're running drills at the base, which is pretty far from us, but they come through here to the little airport that's by us. So if you hear helicopters, I'm sorry, I can't stop every time. I got 2 kids who I only have a couple minutes to film. So I wanted to talk about preschool. Our son is only 2.5 currently. At the end of the summer, he will have just turned, right before we start school, just turned 3. So we are doing a soft launch into preschool. A lot of people do start preschool at 3 or 4. But they start preschool at 3. And I am not pushing preschool at 3. He wanted to do some school, and I wanted to learn some ways to take time out of my day to play with him in a way that he was going to start learning and developing in a way that he would have a way easy time in kindergarten, first grade, and so on, if that makes sense. Just kind of give him the tools that I feel that he needs for these next steps in life. So let's get started. I don't know if you've ever heard of the counting bears. I had heard of them before I did research, but I didn't realize that there was so much that went into them. I thought that they were just basically like counters or to teach kids colors and whatnot. So we bought the counting bears for our son for Easter. It was in his Easter basket. Ours came with pinchers, different colored cups that he can put his little counter bears in, with his tweezers in their respected colors. But basically there's just like, oh, I can't even show you. Basically there's just like these little tiny bears, and they're all different colors, which is super fun, right? And so we have a bunch of little bears, and they are in, again, sorry about the airplane, they are in this little baggie, which is fun. I'm constantly cleaning them up. I saw someone else who bought the counting bears, and I was like, okay, but like we have things that we can count. I try to use more natural, like nature-based counters typically in regards to like just counting, if that makes sense, because they're much cheaper and it's just less plastic and whatnot. But I saw someone had the topschooling.net counting bear like work pages, if that makes sense. I printed them off at my local library, so I didn't use all my colored ink, which is awesome. I get 80 free pages of colored printables a month with my library card, and so it's pretty easy for me to do like a little short lesson book of prints at my local library. It's really simple, and we go to the library every week anyhow. But I printed this off. It's like, first, if they were learning their colors, first they would put all of the respected colors and match them in their color pools. They'd put all the little green bears in the green slot or whatnot, and so on and so forth. And then they would do it in a smaller scale, one bear on each color. Again, colors. Woo. And then they learn patterns. They get to finish the patterns. There's multiple pages where they get to get harder patterns, carry on patterns, and just like so on and so forth, which is like super fun. Every 3-year-old's gonna love that. And then we get into number recognition and units. So we're gonna start using these, and the child's going to match with the bear. So I love how they have a number and a bear. So they have the number 1 and 1 bear. They have a number 2 and 2 bears. And your child's gonna match that up, and they're gonna associate a quantity of units, like 2 bears, to the number 2 bears, if that makes sense. So they're going to start developing the knowledge of 3 and 3, and they're going to put 2 and 2 together, which is awesome. This number goes up to 10, so they will be doing that. And obviously it's not going to be like one day and they're going to know it. You're going to take your time and you're going to learn it as they can and whatnot. And then when they have that down packed, you move on to the 10 units, and you're going to put 1 bear unit in the 10 frame, not 10 units. You're going to start the 10 frames, and you're going to see 1 bear, a single 1 unit in the 10 frame. You're going to see 2 bears in the 10 frame, and you're going to start using 10 frames at the age of 3, which is awesome. I have never seen such a cute little fun, basically just game. Even my daughter wants to play with this, even though she already knows all of this. But this actually goes up to 20. The 10 frames go up to 20, and they'll have 2 10 frames. I mean the 20, so your child even gets to visually see 2 10 frames. So even though they're not talking about 10 frames, your child is growing up knowing about 10 frames, which is super beneficial. And then there's games like roll the dice and put the number on the bears. There's like lots of little games. Again, free. You do have to give them your email, but you go to topschooling.net and you get so many resources. If you have a preschooler, kindergarten, kind of first grade, then you're going to find a lot of holiday activities, which is super fun. And you're going to find things like this that you can use with your counting bears. So that makes counting bears a great investment for us. And so we did invest into those, and he loves them. He loves putting them in the cups. So he's getting, you know, his pinch grasper time and whatnot. And then he's using them with his notebook, which is super great. and it doesn't take up a bunch of space, and we can use that notebook again and recycle the paper. So that is super fun. We did pick him up his own Bible. We are Christian, and we did want him to have his own Bible. This Bible is much less watered down than other children versions that I have seen, so I really liked it. Although the stories are only like 2-3 paragraphs long for most of them, it's about 2 to 4 pages for most of them, and the pages only have like, some pages only have like a little paragraph on them, and then some pages are full pages, but they're big font. And it only takes me 3 to 5 minutes to read through the story, and then about 3 to 5 minutes to talk to my kids about the story, just to see if they like absorbed anything that I read to them, because they are typically coloring or playing in the morning or eating breakfast when I read it to them. And this is something that's really important to me to implement to my children every single day as a Christian. Not all my curriculum is Christian. Obviously, Counting Bears aren't. So if you're not Christian, then you can skip the Christian things if you would like. But a lot of my curriculum for my son is secular. So I wanted to add in reading the Bible as a habit for him every single day. And it's been really fun so far. We've already started it, and he does really well with it. Books that aid in learning without sitting down and doing workbooks. Just books that I would read to my son whenever he wants to crawl up in my lap and read. If he wants to sit at the table and eat dinner and read. I'm okay reading books to my kids while eating dinner. I'm okay with playing a card game. It's really a bonding time for our family. I think mealtime is really a social hour for us. It's really talking about our day, and it's playing a game, asking questions. Especially card games are really easy to play around the dinner table. Not card games, but like flashcard games, like Guess Who I Am and whatnot, like Guess in 10 animal card game and whatnot. It's really a good way to keep your child interested in sitting at the table, if that makes sense. We didn't do really well at keeping our children at the table when they were younger, because we didn't even have a table when my daughter was younger. Whole nother story. We lived in a tiny place, but so we didn't develop the habit of sitting at a table, and so sitting at a table can be kind of hard for little ones, and so playing a game helps. They can also learn while they're eating, which is really awesome. It's a time where both parents put away their phones, they chat about life, they chat about learning skills, and they just kind of, I don't know, raise their kids, if that makes sense. It's just natural for us now, but it's been super fun. Reading books such as this one, which has numbers throughout the whole thing, not just single digit numbers, but double digit numbers as well. And every single page, like there's an 11, it's kind of hard to see with the sun, but there's an 11 on this page, and you're talking about the numbers. So there's a bunch of numbers on this page implemented, and your child is visually seeing numbers and talking about counting just by reading to them, which is really awesome. Instead of having to sit down and teach it to them, they're just getting it this way. And so they're going to learn much quicker at this age doing things like this. And they're going to remember it a little bit better because it's a game. And next time when you pull this out, they're gonna know that they're gonna be doing counting, and they're excited about it. So this book is really cool. I'll try to link it down below. We got it for free. Another educational book that I have been using not only with my son, but with my daughter. She's starting to learn to read, and she's doing really well, but you always need to brush up on your letters and their sounds. And so we do this ABC book. It has a little cutout. They're cardboard, and you can run your finger along them. They have dotted lines that you can feel, and that's on every single page. And typically what I do with my kids is I actually just sing with this book when I'm trying to teach them the letters. So A is for apple, apple, B is for ball, ball. So we're just going along. We sing it to different tunes. We sing it high pitched, we sing it low, we sing it however we please. And then they're associating a letter with a sound, with a picture, and it's just super helpful. Something we have used over the years with our daughter and now with our son, which he's already mastered half of this, so we will probably just pull him out anytime we feel like he might need a little refresher on shapes and colors. But we have, ooh, they're all mixed up, hold on. We have our shape cards, which is just a simple white card. This is how I like my flashcards at this age. A simple white card with an oval on it, and the oval is purple. And then there's, again, all mixed up, a yellow rhombus, if I'm saying that correctly, also known as a diamond to really little kids, but that's all right. We try to learn the correct way. Purple triangle, just so on and so forth. And then your children are learning their shapes, which is super fun, and also their colors. But we got a porcupine, we have a rhinoceros, we have a lizard. When you're playing flashcards with them, they're more likely to be sitting down and listening to the words and building a bigger vocabulary and associating bigger words with animals instead of just like dog. Maybe it's a German Shepherd instead of just a dog. Maybe there's different breeds of dogs. So they are learning a lot. Would I say knowing a lot about animals is necessary at this age? No. But kids this age do love animals, and this is a lot of fun. Again, can build their vocabulary, and it can be a moment between you and them that you're sitting down and just helping them learn and progress and get excited about learning and animals and whatnot. This by far is my favorite piece of curriculum that I have for my son. I wish I would have had it when my daughter was a preschooler. I can't go back, but you can start now with your preschooler, and so I will be sharing it. It is the Preschool Math at Home by Kate Snow. It is about this big. I know when I was watching videos on it, it felt like it was a lot bigger because there's a lot in it, but it's actually really small. I read through the entire book last night. I was so excited. It came in yesterday afternoon and I read the whole book because I'm in love with it. Not only am I learning from it and learning how to teach my child better, but the basis behind the way Kate Snow teaches math is incredible. If you have not researched it, you should. She believes in math through play, and she dives really deep into math. There is no surface level. In this preschool book, your child is going to learn to count to 10. Now, my son can count to 10, but they're going to be able to visually tell you numbers 1 through 10. They're going to be able to verbally tell you numbers through 1 to 10, and they're going to be able to see numbers 1 through 10. I'll explain that. If I have 4 toys, whoa. Maybe I can't hold 4 toys. Maybe I'm not that skilled. But if I have 4 toys and I lay them out on the floor in a straight line and we count them, that's 4. And then the next lesson, maybe we don't put them in a straight line. Maybe we put them in a weird pattern, and that's still 4. And maybe while they're watching, I mix them up and I show it to them again, and they know that because I didn't take any numbers away, it's still 4. And you're gonna go up and build up more and more. Let's say you have 5 items and they're all in a weird pattern. Your child, by the end of this curriculum, is going to be able to look at the floor and know that there's 5 items on the floor, which is so stinking cool. And I was testing myself with this yesterday, and so I'm building upon how many items I can do because I'm like, wait, guys. Anyways, there is so much information in this book. I can do a flip through if you guys would like to see that, because I know that I didn't see really in-depth flip throughs, which I could totally do for you guys. But this, like, it's a 10 out of 10 purchase. Like, I would purchase this 100 times over. I've been telling all my friends about it. I've been messaging friends. I'm like, this is so fun. And it's not a workbook. It's literally, you're going to read this. I likely am going to read it at night before I go to bed. I'm just gonna like read what I'm supposed to be doing that day. And then the next day I will play with my child in a way that they learn these skills. But they literally learn all of these skills through playing with their toys, which is so super duper fun. And we can also use like the little counting bears if we want, but we likely will just use like his cars and Legos and blocks and just anything that he's already playing with. If he's sitting down playing with his cars, I can go sit next to him, have this book in my brain, don't have it next to me. I don't need it. They're short lessons. I understand the concept, and then I will go and I will sit next to him and I will play with him, and he will learn these skills, which is so freaking beautiful. She has curriculum up through 4th grade, and I believe next year she will have 5th grade curriculum, and it starts with this preschool book, and they're all like this, where you could almost get rid of the workbook entirely and just use the teacher guide. And this is just a teacher guide. There's no workbook, obviously. It's so freaking good. I will link it down below. If you buy any curriculum this year for your preschooler, buy this and play with your preschooler, and I guarantee you will not be upset. This is so fun. I like this, so fun. I wish we had it for our daughter. My husband's been hearing about me talk about curriculum for like a couple weeks, and that one I talked his ear off about because I literally read through the whole book last night. I was so excited. And he was like, do you love math or something? I was like, no, I just love teaching and love learning. And I love when there is a resource out there for parents that is so dead on with how children learn. It's not like a sit at a table. Like my 2.5-year-old, who's going to be 3 when we start, well, we might start this now because I'm really excited about it, but he might be 3 when we start this. He's not going to sit at the kitchen table and do school. It's not going to happen, and I'm not going to force that. That's stressful for me, that's stressful for him. If he can learn and excel in math just by counting his cars and doing different things, then I am 100% on board. Thank you, Kate Snow, and I am very, very excited about that purchase. Something that I will be doing with my son, this is just a stand-in. These are not what we were using. We already had these, and I made the decision after teaching one kid how to read. Our daughter just kind of started learning how to read. She's in the process of learning. I decided that I don't like flashcards that have like this has only 2 colors, yes, but it has white, blue, white, and then it has a word on it. I do not like that. It's also all uppercase. So I would like to do lowercase flashcards that are just white flashcards and my handwriting with like a black Sharpie, or print on them with black of the lowercase letters. Also, something that I decided after teaching my daughter how to read is I, first of all, want to start with the lowercase letters. I can do uppercase as well. That's not super important to me. But what's important to me is not teaching the names of the letters. My son already knows the ABCs. He can sing the ABCs. He doesn't visually know the ABCs. He verbally knows the ABCs. So since he doesn't visually know the ABCs yet, I do plan on teaching him A as a, and B as b, and like not buh because I'm not supposed to say buh, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna think about it and say the correct thing. I am good about saying the correct thing when I'm teaching them, but I'm gonna do a flip card deal where when he's playing, I'm gonna say the letter sounds with a very visually like non-stimulating, just like A, black A on a white paper, and I'm going to do that with my son in preschool for the next 2 years. And by the time he gets to reading, when he's around 5, because I don't think he needs to learn it before then he'll have all those sounds memorized, and then we can go on and be like, work a little more on A, B, C, D, like the words. So if that makes any sense, I've done a lot of research, and I think that is the way I want to go with him because I think it would be a lot easier. We did buy this for my son for Easter. It's just, woo! It's just these little pieces, and they go on pegs. So there's 3 pegs. Here there is 1 peg, 2 pegs, 3 pegs, 4 pegs, 5 pegs. They're shapes, they're colors, so that's great for preschool. But my son played with these in such a way that got my brain twirling whirling over here. Guys, I've had a lot of coffee. I haven't had coffee all week. There I had 2 cups, so I'm like, sorry. I apologize. This is also the 3rd time I filmed this because I didn't like it, and I really want this to be special for you guys because I'm really passionate about it. So hopefully it's halfway decent. I'm gonna go ahead and take the 3 triangle that has 3 holes. Can you see that? There you go. My son did this without us even asking him, and now this is how we are going to verbally like teach him. But he has marbles. He loves marbles. Obviously, if you have someone who still sticks things in their mouth, don't go that route. But I can use this toy not only in the peg, but to count with marbles, which is super fun. They fit perfectly in these little holes. He did this on his own, and now I'm like, can you find 3 marbles? And we can just like, he can count them as he's putting in 1, 2, 3, and like we can just do so many things with these up to 5. And since he's only going to be counting, I believe, up to 10 this year, he might be counting to 20, but since he's going to be counting up to 5 in the next couple months, this is going to be super beneficial to visually see 5 in different aspects other than numerical, if that makes sense. So these are really fun. They're also fun for shape recognition and also just fine motor skills. So I got these for him for Easter. I'll link them down below. They've been really fun. He can play with his sister's abacus. We do talk about like numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. He can play with that. That's super fun. But it's not really. Okay. It's not really for him. I keep getting interrupted, so let's finish this up. If come January our son is ready for this, then we will start the Good and the Beautiful preschool curriculum. This curriculum we did with our daughter and we absolutely love it. We don't have anything but like good things to say of it. But if you are using this as a core curriculum and you think that your child is going to learn everything they need to know for preschool from this one curriculum, you have been mistaken. You want to pair this with a number, shapes, and colors way of learning. This book says it's for colors, letters, and sounds, matching, motor skills, numbers, rhyming, shapes, and sorting. That's not really the case. This book is to learn letters and their letter sounds. They try to throw random numbers 1 through 5 pretty much here and there, probably like, I don't know, in the work pages we pulled every single one out. I think there were 10 pages on numbers. You're going to want to add preschool math at home or another math, preschool math with this. You're also going to want to add your child learning colors before they do this, and shapes, because it's just not in here. It's just pretty much for letters and their sound. There is some matching, there's some cutting, there's some rhyming, like that's true, but it's mostly matching numbers. It's sorting not numbers, it's mostly matching letters. It's mostly sorting letters. The motor skills are some cutting, and then rhyming with letters. And then it says colors, but it's really not. It's kind of like use yellow to find the letters. Like, it is a book about letters and their sound, and it's really good for that. And so we use this for letters and their sound. And so if I feel like he is ready for this curriculum come January, then we will start him on it. If he's not ready, we'll just wait till the next year. He's only 3, so like it's not gonna matter. But we did use this with our daughter and we did really like it. This is our most expensive curriculum. Luckily with our daughter, it comes with a couple items. It comes with this little pack of stuff. Since we already have that, they do let us just buy the workbook, which is gonna be way cheaper. Still gonna set us back like 40 bucks. So this is the most expensive curriculum that we will be purchasing for our child, but we do really, really like it. So in the event that we get there and we feel like we want to do this with our son, then we might start this during the school year as well. Just depends on where he's at and what he wants to do. This is a workbook, so it's very sit down intensive. We do really love it. Like I said, this is my daughter's. That's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, comment down below. I would love to chat with you. If you want a more in-depth flip through, let me know. I would love to flip through some of these items. And again, I would love to just chat curriculum. There's going to be lots more videos where this one came from. Again, this is just core curriculum for our preschooler. It's not all of our curriculum for our whole family units, as well as our daughter's curriculum. Those videos will be coming up soon. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.